this only nowhere else but the Kevin and Zach. Kevin, I'm not going to lie.
Now look at this. A carved penguin. There it is.
Oh no. Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
That's so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back.
What?
Oh my God.
Wait, what's going on? What is happening?
What is going? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the play.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Birdfish!
How about that?
Birdfish fans, stand up. We did it.
What can I say? What can I say? What can I say?
I gotta give it to him. They found a way to lose a winnable game again. They found a way to lose a winnable game once again. And they go 3-4 on a road trip that, in all honesty, they probably should have gone 5-2. And when you look back at the games, are you surprised the Orioles offense had a good start to a game and then completely threw the towel in and gave up, rolled over at the first sign of, oh, things are going well, should stop playing well here? I mean, once again, the Orioles find themselves in a winnable game and with an opportunity to go 4-3 over this road trip, and they just can't do it. 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Listen, we can talk about Brian Baker in the final in the 8th inning. We can talk about that as a whole. Yeah, cool. Like Brian Baker, he had one F up. You know, he messed up once in this, season. He's been good throughout. The offense is inexcusable. Little things. Even, hey, let's not let the first inning off the hook. Jackson Holiday getting picked off second. That's another run. Like, even when they do well, they find ways to get in their own way. Hope that Maverick Handley is okay. That collision was just, you haven't seen that. I know Manzolino said he hasn't seen that since it was put on. Or the new rules about not being able to contact the catcher. But, and then, yeah, I mean, Gary Sanchez has one homer a week. Let's keep him on the team, though. I mean, hopefully Gary Sanchez can hit one home run in the next 7 days while he has 9 errors behind the plate and calls atrocious games. But that's besides the point. Glad Gary Sanchez is going to be getting a lot of the starting time. And let's just roll right into this conversation. Samuel Basallo is not coming up. I would be very shocked if Samuel Basallo comes up right now. I don't think it has anything. And listen, I think it's going to be Chadwick Trump. And I don't think it has anything to do with is Samuel. Basallo's better than Trump. Basallo's better than Handley. I just don't think if they weren't going to bring him up when Adley went down, I just don't think that they're going to bring him up when Maverick Handley goes down. Because if they were going to give him the opportunity to just be the starter and kind of run with it, you would have done that when Adley went down. You know, Adley is not going to be back until after the break at best. Manzolino said it today. Adley Rutschman will not be back until the end of the break, until after the break. So, what do you do? If you were going to give Samuel Bassai, and I truly believe this, if they were going to give Samuel Bassai the reins to see what he can do, it would have Maverick Handley going down is not going to be the thing that, you know, sparks it. It would have been Adley. I still don't think we see Bassai, and I'm seeing some people. I would love. He's in the Brave system. I've been seeing some stuff about. Did he opt out or anything? I saw something that he has an opt out in his minor league clause. I would love James McCann. I would love for James McCann to be back. You know, if they can find a way, you know, you would trade cash or whatever for him. Go bring Sam or James McCann back and have him and Gary. You know, let James be the main catcher and let Gary come in to pinch hit and hope he can hit one of his. You know, Gary Sanchez. I'll give Gary Sanchez credit. Gary Sanchez is a great hitter when he's hot. Gary Sanchez is like he's just the prototypical. He'll be on fire for 2 months or two months. I wish for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then the next thing you know, he gets 2 hits over a 3-month period. I just don't think he's worth it. He is as just streaky as it gets. The 2 weeks that he is hot and he gives you 5 home runs over, you know, a week and a half, those are fun. I just don't know if it's worth the $8.5 million we're paying him to kind of not be almost a liability behind the plate. I mean, it's what it is. This is not the time to be talking about, though, you know, complaining about who we have for catcher because it's good. They're going to need whoever can step up, whether that's Chadwick Trump, whether that is Gary, whether it is James McCann coming back. You know, you never know what's going to. He has his moments. And that's what he'll go 3 months of just being a liability, but he'll have his. It's like I tweeted the day we signed him. He's gonna have his random 2 weeks in July where it's like, oh, Gary Sanchez finally put it together. No, and did want to get to these, Walter. Appreciate you. Don't get the logic of not using Soto, who has been fantastic all June to face the lefties. So what was the situation? I'm trying to think because I saw some people talking about this. So was it – let me make sure I get this correct before I give my full – yeah, I would have gone – I don't know if they were like – terrified of Stanton batting in that 3 spot. Like I don't get it either. I would have gone Soto probably. But listen, I'm also not going to sit here and say that bringing in Brian Baker the way he's been pitching, I'm not going to sit there and say that he, you know, shouldn't have been brought in. You know, I'm not going to. With the way he's been pitching, I'm not going to say that it was stupid to bring in Brian Baker because he's been great. But yeah, you know, it's almost the opposite of what we've been asking, where it's like, hey, go to the lefty against the lefties, where we've been begging all season for them not to do that. So, I mean, it sucks. I personally probably will went Soto just to try to get the 2 lefties out because the worst thing that can happen if you get those 2 guys out and Stanton goes yard is it's a tie game. So let Mayo catch, likely better defense. Screw it. At this point, Kobe, I know you're finally getting comfortable. Go catch so we can get you on the lineup, please. For real, but also Walter, appreciate you. This loss stings. This is one of the worst losses. And I'm not gonna say worst losses like in the with up there with the 8-0 blown lead or with the 24-2 or the 15-3, all that. No, those are worse. I'm saying in the fact that with everything, all the stakes on the table and the opportunity to go win 4 of 3, come out of here with a winning record on the road trip, it felt like you had just overall such a gifted opportunity. Let's be honest, with after you blew an 8-0 lead to the Rays, you should have been in this situation. I mean, it's today was the encapsulation of the 2025 Baltimore Orioles. Start out well. That looks like, okay, the offense has got something. After the first inning, you did not hear a peep from them unless it was up, couldn't score again with runners in scoring position. Oh, got the guy on second, no outs, not getting him in. That's not happening. Don't want to do that. Why would we want to get more runs or points or whatever your interim manager wants to call them? It just was good spurt of offense. Offense is done for the day. Dean Kramer battles his ass off against this Yankees team. Keeps you in a position to win where you have not scored since the first inning. 1 run over 5 2/3. Bullpen has 1 bad inning. They take the lead 4-2, and that was all she wrote because once again the offense, besides a select few, Jackson Holiday, he got picked off at second, but 2 hits for him. Dylan Carlson, Gunnar Henderson, they wanted nothing to do with today, just walked him everywhere. Had opportunities 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Or no, I guess it probably is now 2 for 11 because I've been going off of before. I guess technically is Ramon Urias now considered a runner in scoring position at the end? Yeah, that sucks for him because it happened with 2 strikes, but whatever. 2 for 11. Nine left on base. Yep, first and second, nobody out. Didn't even matter. It's just, and I'll give him credit. Ramon Laureano tried to get the bunt down. I was thankful, but then it doesn't work, and they're like, well, not doing that. Not playing small ball anymore. We tried it, a singular pitch, throwing that away. Nope, not happening here. Just frustrating. Frustrating because you feel like if Ramon gets that bunt down, you never know. I mean, the next 2 guys struck out anyway, so it wouldn't have done anything, but I mean, this is what this team has done to you as a fan all season. Get your hopes up, give you the slightest bit of hope that maybe they're going to pull through. And then I've never seen a team so good at just finding ways to lose. They get creative at it. Got to give it to them. You have to give it to them. They are going to be creative with how they find 8-0 lead. Oh, they'll lose it. Dean Kramer pitches a great 5 2/3 1-run ball against the Yankees. Offense has leaving 9. They're going to lose it. But you know what? Then they'll beat Max Fried. They'll split 2 of 4 in Tampa if that's the highest team in baseball. It's what's annoying about this team. It's what's frustrating about this team is they'll give you every glimpse of hope and talent. And, I mean, we're not even going to get into the fact that this whole team, unfortunately, seems to be, like, as soon as everyone gets back, like, it's like they spin a wheel of who gets injured next. I mean, it's just the injury luck for this team. And it's just stupid stuff like Jordan Westbrook jam finger. Like, it's not even stuff where it's like, oh, you can prepare for that. Like, stole second and jammed his finger. Like, that's just like freak accidents happening. you know. Yeah, and Mary, I said I was going to do this before, and I forgot to do it. So maybe that's the reason. Might be. I might have to fix it. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know how he did it. I don't know. They're all wearing. Then the mitts. I mean, I don't have enough it's expertise to talk. I don't understand how the mitt stops you from jamming your finger necessarily, to be honest with you, as much. I'm like, if you jam your finger in even with the mitt, but that's besides the point. That's a whole different. Steve, way to ruin my day. Steve, I was already having a bad day, and then this is how you want to ruin it more. Yeah. Congratulations, Orioles. You wanted to lose this game. Patrick Corbin's revenge, just him throwing the perfect game tomorrow is going to just be so disgusting. It's going to be so gross. Patrick Corbin, the reincarnation of Patrick Corbin, because he's actually doing pretty well this year comparatively to what he was doing last season with the Nationals, at least. Yeah, 3.91 ERA. Patrick Corbin's putting together a nice. I know this is not why you all came to watch this, but you know what? I don't like talking about just us blowing this all the time. So, I mean, for him to have a 3.91 ERA in 2025, if you're a Nationals fan, you're pissed because 2024 he had a 5.62, 2023 he had a 5.20, 22 he had a 6.31. 21, he had a 5.28. In 2020, he had a 4.66. They signed him for 6 years, and he gave them a singular, just decent year. He had a 3.25 in 19, and then it's just been – but good for Texas for getting him back. 3.91 ERA. He's what is Texas over their last 10? Texas 6-4 over their last 10. Currently 2-2 with the Pirates. They're on the verge of potentially sweeping the Pirates after they got swept by Kansas City and swept the White Sox. So I mean, Texas, Patrick Corbin's going to be – it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then what's we're just going through the matchups right now in Texas. Then you have undecided for Texas on Tuesday. And I'm assuming they're going to be undecided as well. No, we got to face DeGrom on Wednesday. Jesus. Jacob DeGrom on Wednesday. You know what? We do well against these. Yeah. God. Damn. At least you gotta rely on the Orioles have done well against better pitchers. Weirdly, this year. I mean, Hunter Green, obviously, they beat Fried. They've done. Now, that's the thing. When I come on here, that's why I love this show so much, because I feel everything that you guys feel. I am just as much of a fan. Like when we covered, that's what I always like to say. If you want my slept on it, well thought out, analytics behind it, opinion, Ryan Ripken Show, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll give you, prepared stuff. Here's what we're talking about. When you just want me to react as a fan, I'm going through this stuff reacting as a fan with all of you. This is why I love this show, because I can just be a fan and just react with you all, because it is frustrating. I am just as disgusted as everyone. Like, this is hard to watch. This is frustrating to watch. It's frustrating to go through this time and time again, where you sit there and you feel like time after time they have opportunity after opportunity. Second and first, no outs. Second and third, no outs. Can't get them in. You try to bunt. You try to play small ball. You try to do the right thing. Can't get them out, or can't get it down. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Kevin and Zachary go live after every single Orioles game. React to news as it happens. Let's talk Yennier Cano going down. I understand it. He looked a little better in his recent outing. But hey, I get why they were going to do it. We talked about it before. He was the only guy on the Orioles to have options out of the bullpen. So they just sent him down. So yeah, and the other thing is they brought up, okay, so Geraldo has 3 options as well. Yeah, so Cano is back down there. Luis F. Castillo still trucking along with us. How's he doing? $20.25. Is that a 16 ERA? We gotta do it together. We gotta do it together. That's all it is. We gotta do it together. If not together, then what do we have? What else do we have? We got to do it together. That's the only way we get through it. And speaking of doing it together, the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Oestreicher. Kevin, that was rough.
Yeah, I was awake for the whole game.
Yeah, what was the wake? Because I'm telling you right now, if you were asleep for that whole game, I'm going to congratulate you and say you win, because that was if you could have.
Well, I was in and out of sleep for like the whole night, so I woke up in I think the 7th, and then I fell back asleep and they lost. So. Because I had a lot of work, so I went to bed super late / early. So my core value is, look, even if I go to bed really late, I want to get anywhere from 6 to 7 hours, 8 hours. I'm not going to sacrifice unhealthy sleep amounts, right? So from what I can tell,
I'm going to tell you right now, it was everything you think of frustrating this game had.
Yeah, I saw the runners in scoring position. Cano got option. Whoa. I mean, I guess he's really the only guy.
I was just talking about that. Yeah. He was the only one with options. He was the only one with options. Yeah. And with that, the way everyone's been pitching, and he hasn't been pitching great, I think they just didn't want to DFA anyone. Because we just kept saying they got to bring someone up, but who do you bring up and who do you replace? Because this kind of felt like your bullpen going forward. We found our answer. They're going to send the guy down with options. They didn't want to give anyone.
Yeah. So does he have 2 left now?
Yeah. Although options, okay. I'm not even going to try to explain this. So options aren't it's not even something where it's every time you go up and down that wastes an option. There's a certain amount of time that one option, you now open that option window and you can go up and down as much. So MLB options are the weirdest.
Huh. The more you know.
It's just because for a while I thought, and then I was okay, we've sent, because what, the guy that I realized it on was Nick Vespi, because he was sent up a million times, and it would be No, he just used one option. I'm like, he's been here 7 times. I'm like, there's no like I've seen him here. Like I know he was here, but
yeah, jeez, man, I can't. It just all across the board bad.
I mean, Kevin, start off. I mean, they should have gotten even more in the first inning. I mean, they start off first and second, nobody out, and you're like, oh, we're about to put a bruising on these guys. They pick off Jackson Holiday at second, and you're like, okay. And then if assuming everything goes the same, which it wouldn't have, they wouldn't have been the same pitches. They then get 2 runs next. Of the next 2 batters, that would have been 3. Like that would have been. And Jason, yeah, they should have gotten 4. There was also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna pretend to you guys that I was driving back from softball, and I see that Gunner's on third, 1 out, and then there's a fly ball, and it's caught, and Gunner didn't tag. So I don't know. It looked deep enough, at least on the ESPN app, to tag, but Kevin, this was. Yeah, and I was not physically watching it. I just saw he got picked off. So, you got to tip your cap to the pitcher for getting them. But Kevin, it was this entire game, especially for Dean to go 5 2/3, 1 run, and that's how it's rewarded. That just sucks.
Yeah, no, I caught up on some of it. Excuse me, on some of it. Whew. And there's little things like, the Yankees getting an extra insurance run with the Gunner to Gary thing. And, Dean does deliver, but it's Baker. And I saw on social media people, oh, Baker's terrible. No, he's not. No, he's not. He just had a bad look. Baker's been great for them all year, minus a couple outings. And one of them was today. And they were in a tough spot with their bullpen. I still would have liked to see Blewett not pitch yesterday and at least have the shot to be available today. But again, you're that first game sets you back with Tomo not being able to go deep into that game again, and that's been a theme for him the last handful of starts, which is unfortunate. But now it puts you behind the 8 ball. And that's something we talked about in the Rays series with the second game, when they lost, and we were like, hey, they used their whole bullpen. Like, this is great. And then,
Kevin, I was just going to say, we want to talk about like, oh, there's sometimes you can get past games. It was easy to get past the 2 Rays losses after you bounce back. And it's like, okay, they won. Like you go 4-3, they win today. I'm still a little bit, when I think back, I'm like, oh, God, could have won that 8-0 game. You go 3-4 after just, let's pissing down your leg the past 2 days. I mean, for you to get borderline no hit yesterday and then come out here, look great in the first inning, and then offense disappear, like that makes it frustrating to what now we can't go back and go, it would have been nice to have, but you still won this, the road trip. Now you're looking back going, well, there's the difference now. That's a 2-game difference of 4-3 versus 3-4. That's a big difference. This team could have potentially, they win that game, they win today. They're 7 games below 500 or 8 games below 500. Now they're back to 12.
Yep.
And Texas is heating up. The Rays are the Rays. And, okay, I'll say Texas is heating up against teams that Texas should be heating up against. They're coming off potentially 2 sweeps of the Pirates and the White Sox after then being swept by the Royals. But that's besides the point. We said after we swept the White Sox, you play the team.
Yeah, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Credit, so they're coming off and doing their job, and the Orioles are coming off not doing their job. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, look, if I had to rate, and I guess we can play this game in the chat, if you're here with us live, or if you're not in the comment, if you're in the comments after the fact, and you want to comment your level of disappointment. What 1 to 10? What's your level of disappointment?
10. I'll go 12.
Yeah,
we want to talk about disappointment. There were You went 3-4 in a road trip that, without a doubt, you should have gone 5-2. And I'm the one who said that you were hoping for 4-3. I'm going to say that this is a disgusting disappointment. Disappointment doesn't even begin to explain how big of a letdown this road trip was because of the opportunities that you put yourself in. Up 8-0. There's not an excuse in this game. Listen, if we won that game 8-0, that 8-0 game, and you lose this and we're still 4-3, I am upset. But we are in the very big flush it and move on state right now. We would have been like, well, whatever, you won you gained a game on the road trip. That was the goal, to come out 500 or better, move on. But you didn't. So now now it's your fault that you are 3-4 on this road trip. It is another game, another series of games in this season where you look back and you say the Baltimore Orioles beat the Baltimore Orioles. And the reason that the Orioles are in this situation isn't because of anyone but the man looking in the mirror. Because you were up 8-0. You left 9 on base when you lost to the Yankees. You had every opportunity to get out, get more runs, get insurance runs, and you didn't. I'm not going to blame you and say, oh, you should have won that game that you lost 7-1 to Tampa. Tampa's a damn good team. They came in, they beat you one game, you bounce back. Yesterday, Yankees win 9-0. It happens. It's a good team. You just beat Max Fried when you shouldn't have the day before. All right, happens. You win today, it doesn't matter. It's just you were playing baseball. But when you get, it's the gives and takes of the game. But when you keep getting in your way and you hinder yourself from going, 5-2 to you yourself take it to 3-4, that's different. If they would have lost to Tampa, if this game would have also been 9-0 and that Tampa loss would have been 9-0, we would have just said this was a shitty ass road trip. We would have been like that. You got your lunch money taken. Like that sucked. You had every opportunity to win and come out of this 4-3, 5-2, and you didn't because you couldn't get out of your own way.
Yeah, it's not just that they lost; it's how they did it. If they had just, it would have honestly felt better if they got blown out against Tampa in that game. They were winning 8-0 instead of having it happen the way it was. Would have felt better if they just got blown out again against the Yankees today instead of, feeling like they had it and then they didn't. It was impending doom the whole time. You could just tell, oh, hey, they're not capitalizing here again. They're not capitalizing here again. They're keeping the Yankees in the game. It's getting dicey. And then, look, the Yankees offense has been floundering for a little bit. They got back on track yesterday. And, while they were floundering again today, it just took one inning for them to break through. And it wasn't like, in that 8th inning, it was Aaron Judge hitting a grand slam. People were getting around, guys were getting on base, and they were manufacturing runs with the help of the Orioles a little bit in there. So, I agree. It's a 10 for me too, because it's not just I had said it before. I'll stand on it. I wanted them to go 5-2 on this road trip. I felt that's where they needed to be. You were in the 4-3 category. We were pretty similar in where we were on what we expected or what we wanted to see from them. But, them going 3-4, so not hitting either of our thresholds and looking uncompetitive, not just uncompetitive, somewhat incompetent in some of these games in certain aspects. Where, the defense, I see people talking about it in the chat. Their defense has been pretty bad all year. It's been bad for 2 seasons, honestly. And, those are things that it's little things like that matter. And yes, nobody's going to play perfect. And I'll stand on this too. Yes, this team is still going to lose games. They're not just going to win every game from June 22nd on until the end of the year, right? It's not going to happen. But there is a bigger sense of urgency with how this team started the year, where it's not just like, oh, hey, we split a series and lost a series. Darn, we're like, you are one game worse than when you started, and you now have 7 less games to get the job done and to get to where you want to go. So look, I said it, I'm not expecting them to make the playoffs. They could certainly do it. Crazier things have happened, and You know, we've seen them look like a better baseball team at times, but it just feels like once we see that, it always reverts back to this, to some version of this. And now you're losing guys again. You know, we might have to revisit the Basayo conversation after Hanley and what happened.
No,
there.
Kevin,
they might just.
Kevin, I already said it. If Adley Rutschman going down wasn't the door opening for Sam Basayo, Maverick Handley going down sure as hell ain't. I just felt like if you were going to give him the reins, it would have been after Adley went down. I don't know if Maverick Handley going down and suddenly you're like, you know.
I mean, I still wouldn't do it, but
if they were going to do
conversation
it,
again,
I think it would have been. Unless they come back and they were like, yeah, we were going to do Basayo for Adley this whole time. We just need to wait until, to do, then it's one thing. But I would be very concerned if this front office was like, we weren't going to do it for Adley, but who else can fill Maverick Handley's role? Like, I don't know if that's the guy that we're like rushing a top prospect to fill his. It's Chadwick Trump time. I'm telling it.
Yeah, that's what.
We brought up James McCann has a buyout in his minor league option with the Braves, or not a buyout, an opt out. He can do what Kyle Gibson did and opt out his deal if you want to. Someone wants to send a text.
Man, I mean, look, every check box that we talked about yesterday is still intact with Hanley going down. Like, it's the same thing. And I know Mancelino said Adley will be out until after the break, and that's tough. But yeah, I wouldn't expect them to do it. But it with every catcher injury, it does open the door for the conversation. So it's it's that's what I expect them to do is just keep Basayo down there, but we will see. So man, it's tough all around. Yeah. Gunnar with some angry walks today though.
Gunnar with a lot of angry walks today. Is the College Baseball World Series on right now? This is horrible. I just got a tweet notification from Jeff Passan talking about this, that the game's on. Bottom of the third. Why we have a winner go home for the championship? LSU could win it today, and we're not.
Was that always the time, or did they move it?
Yeah, it must be the time.
Yeah,
must have been. I see no reason why they win. And then Monday, Coastal better win today.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Kevin, let's get into some call-ins.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Be happy, be upset. Come talk.
If you're happy, you're probably a Rockets fan.
Are you?
Yes, they easily won that trade. Are you kidding? What? That's like, how did they not win that trade?
Kevin, when has a young, talented team acquiring Kevin Durant ever gone well?
This one. This one.
Like since the Warriors.
I'm just mad because then they named the Nuggets as that like dark horse team. And I'm like, of course, just don't tell me anything at all, man. I don't want to hear that. Like
Kevin, I disagree. I think it was one of those. I think the Suns made out very well. I'm more impressed with what So now you have to win it in the next 2 years.
I think they can't, and I don't think they're. I mean, look, I'm just not a big Jalen Green guy. You might be bigger on Jalen Green than I am. I'm not that.
I don't even know if it's that I'm bigger on Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green has upside. Maybe it's because
I think they needed to get more of their picks back. They only got their this year pick back. Where I just think they also have like 80 billion shooting guards and no point guard, no center. And
I'm not saying the Suns are like. I'm not saying it's like a great deal for the Suns. I still don't know what they're like what they're doing, but I just don't know if the Rockets. Like I see the vision. I just think it very much shortens your window. You get what I mean? Like I think you opened up a 2-year window.
Yeah, I think it's a swing you can make, and then if this KD window doesn't work out, you still have enough young. Like you have Amin Thompson's, Şengün is there. Like you have Smith. You have enough young talent to retool.
How does the Rockets losing Dylan Brooks affect LeBron's legacy?
Yeah, of course. All right.
Let's hop in. We got our first call in. We got Steve. Steve, what's up, my guy?
Dave, what's good, man?
Wasted a very beautiful outing from Dean.
Say it louder for the people in the back. Yep, it's just disgusting. Disgusting. The way he pitched
Dean,
today and didn't.
What was it? 5 1/3, 5 2/3?
5
Yep.
2/3.
7 punchies.
He was great. He was great.
Including, if I remember correctly, Stanton 3 times.
Yep.
This team frustrates the hell out of me.
Yep.
Word of the day. Word of the day.
Word of the season.
And I'm going to say this. If it had been me, I don't care if I'd have gotten tossed. Jazz would have gotten plunked his next AB.
Yeah, I think that it was interesting. That whole situation was so one happened out of nowhere. You know, I saw the replay and I was like, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations. I don't know if Jazz also lost his shoe running around third. Like, what the hell was that play? Jazz is running around third, loses his shoe, is half running, half limping home, and then Maverick Hanley just literally helicopters like across the field after making contact. That was one of the scarier, more just like what the hell just happened, and I've seen in a long time.
It was, and now Gary Sanchez is going to be the starting catcher for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Gary Sanchez has been an interesting. Every other game is a different Gary Sanchez experience.
We were talking about this in the chat with you earlier, Zach. Texas tomorrow, it's Corbin, and then it's DeGrom on Wednesday.
DeGrom, oh my God. You have to win the first two. You have to win the first.
I think it's so funny that, like, in this series, of course, it was the free game that they won, and then these two that they lost. Like, of course, that's
of course they beat Freed. Oh
they
my
beat
God.
Freed and then lose the next two. Like, of course, that's how it goes. Like, this team is just hilarious.
And you know what? Maybe tomorrow will be a bounce back for Rodgers. Because
They need it. They need it.
And then you got Morton on Tuesday.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie's been throwing well, man. I mean,
Orioles need two massive wins. Please welcome Trevor Rogers and Charlie Morton. Although imagine at middle of April telling you Orioles need two massive wins to get back on track, and we're sending Trevor Rogers and Charlie Morton to the mat.
I think all of Oriole Nation would have been like, hell no.
Yeah, I think they're still like, although they've won the last 5 Charlie starts, so.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and Morton's last start was against Tampa.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched well.
Yep.
So we need another one of those vintage Charlie Morton starts Tuesday if we want to even have a chance to win that series against Texas. And then, of course, Rays come in over the next weekend, and they got bombed by Detroit today.
Yeah. They fought back for a second. I think Kevin Arrow tried to in the second and first or second inning, and then it was just it became all Detroit very fast. At least Detroit can keep a 7-run lead against them.
Don't get me started.
Actually, it was an 8-run lead in the 9th inning, and Detroit. Tampa scored 2 though in the 9th. I would have been the PTSD in me would have been like, oh no, it's happening. It's happening. It's just one of those. It's just been one of those series.
I mean, I was loving the way Dean was shoving today, and then I'm not gonna put everything on Baker in the 8th, but he had his moments to get out of that inning, and the Yankees just capitalized.
Yeah, It's just that's why, like, I'm not against Baker because of how well he's been doing this season. Like, I hate to be like, oh, Baker, because I know people like, why didn't you bring in someone else? Why didn't you bring in Soto? Baker's been your guy this year. Like, so I'm not upset with he got it. But yeah, hindsight, looking back, Monday morning quarterbacking, it is like Soto against Rice and Bellinger, the lefties, then take your chances with Stan. I probably would have gone that way. But Steve, appreciate you calling in, my guy.
Appreciate you, man.
We'll catch you next
Hopefully,
time.
we're talking
After
after a win tomorrow night.
After a win, let's speak it into existence, man.
Trevor Rogers quality start, Steve. Let's book it now. Trevor
I'm
Rogers.
holding you to it, Zach. I'm holding you to that.
Steve. It's happening, and we'll talk about it tomorrow after the game. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Steve.
Appreciate you. Love, it is funny because, Kevin, you can tell our call-in line, it's like when it's like a normal game, it'll be like, 2 or 3. If it's wild, massive win, we got a lot, but it's massively disappointing. We have a lot of people
want to get the weight off their chest, man. I get it.
Well, let's head on to our guy Jake up next.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, Jake? How you doing,
man?
How
you doing?
Not bad. Sorry, just been doing yard work while listening to the game since they did the Roku thing, which I don't even. Yeah. I think it's like the one thing I don't have. Like, I mean,
it's
my girlfriend.
The one thing no one has. I swear, like, judging off Twitter, I was like 3% of people are watching this game right now because every other tweet was like, "Guess I'll be listening to it," or "Guess I'll be checking the box scores." Like,
yeah, man. It's such a bummer. I had one quick question. For y'all's just because I don't know, I'm still new to this Twitter stuff and everything. Does the Ripken show also do call-ins as well, or no? I'm just not sure.
I think it's once a week, right?
Yeah, every Thursday.
Yeah, I think Thursdays is call-in days. So
okay.
Yeah, we try to every Thursday.
And it's the same thing where it's like a subscription and then bang bang.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to talk. I just want to ask that quick question.
Everyone's now saying it was free on their website. This is the stuff we need on Twitter, people. This is the stuff that needs to be
they were keeping that information. I never saw that.
Oh, Laura, don't worry. I watched in the Discord.
Man, today. I mean, yeah, like you said, Dean Kramer comes through like. He's either super frustrating or he's like lights out. Like I was listening to the radio and I heard the third strikeout of Stanton. It was like, it's like one of those moments where it's like, hey, you did it, brother. And pat on the butt, get in there and get into the bullpen. Bullpen started killing, and then Baker didn't have his day. And that happens. I'm not going to go crazy with Baker on that stuff, but like, it's just so wild when it comes to these injuries. I think some people were arguing a little bit on Twitter I saw today about like kind of the injury bug, and I'm not a big fan of like when people say, oh, it's not an excuse, and I'm like, true to a point. Everybody gets injuries. I mean, look at the Dodgers pitching. But a couple months ago I did I tried ChatGPT for a minute and tried to get it to run me some like WAR numbers of like basically who's missing out on the most like WAR, looking at the last completed season of everybody. And we were by far and away like number one, and number two was the Dodgers. But the difference is they'll buy their way out of a situation like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And most of that came from their pitching. But for especially positional players, we are by far missing out on the most number of guys. And I don't know, like it's just frustrating. I hopefully that those what is it? Whatever the heck Westberg, like it's a finger. Does he say which finger it was?
I don't know.
I have no idea which specific finger. No.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just really hoping that he can hopefully over the next day or two be back, because if they lose him for any bit of time, it's extended time. Obviously, he's already missed today and yesterday for the most part, but if he's out for, let's say they have to put him on the IL, it just adds another piece that you're sitting there and you're like, well, another key factor to this offense. Because, I mean, what's the one thing we always talk about? It's like Westberg and Adley, when they're hot, the team, the team goes as they go. So
Yeah.
it's like once you lose one of them in the lineup, and you can tell the inconsistency because usually when one's off, the other's on. So the lineup, when they're at their best, one's off, the other's on, and the lineup keeps going the way it does because you still have one of them kind of being that, leader of, hey, I'm going to take 10 pitches and work a walk, work a single on, 8 pitches and set the tone. You lose both of them from your lineup. I mean, you're seeing another game like this. So it is just disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this was definitely. I agree with everything y'all were saying. Like in another universe, if we're in our normal, 10 games above 500 or 8 games above 500, we're like, man, sucks. We got 3 out of 4. We should have won 2, but we put ourselves, Kevin, like you keep saying, like you were hoping we were going to go like 5-2 or 5-3 or whatever it was, 3 games up or whatever from this road trip. We put ourselves in a position where we can't even play that game anymore. I will say, good news though, Bragg's back.
Yeah.
And he threw, I think they said 4.1 or 5 innings today, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, a couple hits. So that's a good.
And so is Ferret, actually. I know he made another in Aberdeen. He's back there, Michael Ferret. So he's another big riser for pitchers. The Orioles have some dogs coming up pitching-wise. Not a lot of highly touted guys where you're going to see them on all the rankings, but they have a lot of guys that I'd put in that, maybe Cade Povich, stuff like that range where it's like, okay, they have that upside where you're like, hey, if they can put it together, they could be a very, very good major leaguer. So you're really hoping for that. And then obviously this draft, I know it's Michael Elias has been very against drafting pitchers. We have 3 first-round picks. 2 of them better be pitchers. I need some hope that we can get some pitchers in this.
Yeah, I don't know much about the college kids other than what I've been seeing in the World Series, which, by the way, I think you were alluding to it earlier. I think the manager and the first base coach from Coastal Carolina got run.
Yeah, apparently the first inning was a wild series of events.
Which is a bummer. I mean, I'm living here in North Carolina. It's kind of like they're kind of like a nice. Oh, Kevin, probably it's a nice surprise. It's like, wait, UNC? Oh, it's not UNC.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina. Roger that.
I feel it, man. Yeah, there are all those baseball schools in that area. You think, oh yeah, they're going to be the team, and then it's Coastal. And Coastal's been a good team. Like they have the guys.
Yeah, they have a College World Series under their belt, and over the last 10 years.
They do. I'd be curious what they do in the draft. I mean, I don't know how high that kid from Arkansas is going to go. I don't know if he's one of those guys who's going to be top 5, but we can get somebody like that. But like if somebody like that's around, a dog, because he was a dog. Yeah. And the LSU kid yesterday, I think he threw like 130 pitches or something ridiculous.
Which I got to say, there is something, stuff ain't adding up. Stuff is not adding up because you'll see, and I know it's different things, but it's so funny where like a major leaguer will get 75 pitches in and you're like, they're like, yep, we're getting tired. We're winding down. And then Kate Anderson yesterday, it's like 114 pitches into the game. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, Coastal, you got to get it up against their closer. And he starts walking back on the mound. I'm like, is this abuse? I'm like, is he allowed to do? I'm like, his arm is going. And then what told me he was a dog, he struck out 10 guys. And in his post-game press conference or on-field interview, he's like, yeah, I mean, it was, today was a grind, wasn't striking guys out. Like, I just, didn't get a lot of Ks, had to work through at bats. Like, you struck out 10 and threw a complete game shutout in the College World Series. And he's wasn't really on my A game today.
Right. That's so wild. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see what we do in the draft. But I know y'all have a line behind me, so I'll let y'all roll. I'll get back to the yard work.
Awesome, Jake. Appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, Kevin, I was this is going to be interesting and real fast. I'll put just the straight link in, so I don't know if that helps people be able to. But this is the Discord link. I saw some people asking for the Ryan Ripken show. A lot of fun stuff to talk about in there, all that. Sure, man. Let's keep it going. They also stream games in there, so make sure to all Oriole games are streamed there. So next up, we got Danny coming up. Danny, what's up, my guy?
What's going on, man?
What's up, guys?
Could be better. Could be better.
Recovering. Waking up, I guess. Yeah.
Wish the Orioles offense was as hot as it is outside.
Yeah. Well, dude, like you guys are in Maryland, I'm in Tennessee. Like it's a lot more humid up there, but it's still hot.
Brutal. Brutal.
Yeah, Dave, what's on your mind today?
Dude, so like I was one of the like few people like who was able to watch the game. I actually have Roku on my TV.
Oh, perfect.
I know, right? And like, yeah, dude, like, and I was like, dude, like the definition of missed opportunities today. Yeah. And that's really like this whole week. Again, like the loss Wednesday was embarrassing, and you know, you come in Friday, you actually hit one of the best pitchers in baseball this year, and Max Fried, and you're like, all right, heck yeah, and then yesterday it's whatever, and today you're like, you get a great start from Dean, and then the offense just does nothing.
I feel for Dean the most. Like I genuinely do.
Because the thing is, man, he pitched so well today. And then like I'm watching this game the whole time. Before it was 2-1, I'm like, guys, like you're getting opportunities, and you guys aren't catching. And like thing is, like Warren, he was throwing strikes in the middle of the zone, and like they were either soft contact. They couldn't hit it.
Yeah,
and it was the classic. I mean, I don't like to get on Jack because Jackson, like it's simple things like Jackson Holliday, his one, I think he was first pitch hunting, hits a beautiful line drive right at the center field. Like it was either they would get center fastballs, they'd get hangers, and they would either put hard line drives to the outfield or it was pop up. And it's like even the hard hits, they weren't finding green grass. And it's frustrating.
And also, like, again, like it sucks because like, you know, like the pitching this road trip has been up and down.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, like Zach Eflin, his last 2 starts has a 14 ERA.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. Has not been good.
And yeah, in his last 2 starts, I literally looked this up. Like he has given up like 22 runs. No, it's 22 hits, 13 runs, and he has a 14 ERA.
It hurts. And he's one of those guys. If you're gonna be this is so weird to say, and I never thought I would say this in a million years. If the Orioles today were to decide to sell, their best asset pitching wise would be Charlie Morton.
Yeah, weird.
To think of.
It's weird
because it's a rental. He's shown improvement. All of his metrics. I mean, his metrics weirdly always looked great.
Oh my!
Even earlier this season, so he would be the guy you'd get probably the best prospect for.
Yeah,
Charlie Morton.
Like, I feel like like Zach Eflin's numbers don't look great, but I feel like a lot of teams like view him as a 2 or 3 guy. So I still feel
his name's going to go more than his production recently.
His name, because I feel like teams are like he's having a rough couple of starts, like, and there's always teams like, oh yeah, like we bring him here, we can fix him. So I feel like he will still get you a good return for him. But like again, I was wondering, I'm like, because like this dude, like even like throughout his time here, he's been great. And like I know he had one bad start earlier. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's what happens. It happens. But like 2 games in a row. I understand, it's hot. I understand it's against 2 good teams. I understand this. But like to get absolutely shelled the way he's been getting shelled, it's not great, especially for a guy who, without Grayson and Kyle Bradish, he's your guy.
Yeah.
He's your guy. Yep. And again, he's your guy. So like, and he's the guy that you need to have pitch well for you.
Yeah, they need guys to step up, and at the end of the day, it's the hole that they dug themselves in. Guys are gonna have bad starts. Guys are gonna have bad games. Like the team's gonna play poorly. Like it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But they can't afford to do that nearly as much anymore, as opposed to if they were 5 games under 500 at this point. So
well, the thing is, like, if this was the team from last year around this time, where they were like 12 games above 500, we would let this roster be like, you know what, it sucks. But you know what? You still are in a good spot. You're still, You're still,
Sure.
first or second in your division. You're still like 10 games above 500. We would have been like, you know what? Move on to against the Rangers and let's go. But now you were 10 games below before you started this road trip. You could have been 7 because theoretically Wednesday and today should have been wins, but blew it. You could have been 7 games below 500 and potentially try to make a little bit of a run to where you could potentially be kind of buyers at the deadline. Now you're back to 12 games under, and teams are probably going to start calling you even more about guys. Because at the end of the day, like you need to think like there are players who I don't want to get traded, but at the end of the day, like it might be in the best interest of the team for them to get traded.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate spot of where they're at. It's what helps. What would I love to see a Sagano, a Eflin, all these guys here next year running it back and going for it. Without doubt. But it is what's best for the team, and sometimes it's also what's best for them. Because doing things like that, it does go a long way. And it's it sucks that we're at this part of having to talk about it, but you doing what's best, by these players can have a big, I guess, domino effect, especially in a free agency.
Yep. 100%.
By the way, I do agree with Jake from the dude before that like we have to draft a pitcher.
Yeah.
Again,
No doubt.
So the guy I want, he'll be gone long before we pick is Doyle from Tennessee. That kid.
Oh my God, that was
good. As a Tennessee fan, that kid's fastball is electric.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's going number 1 to the Nationals at this
He'll be
point.
top 5.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that I'm biased as a fan. But
Hey.
but also I know like Anderson, I think he's top 10. The kid from Arkansas, man, like a lot of people had him like low first round, maybe like early second.
Yeah, that's going to change.
He pitched his way, but hey, man, like if he's in like the mid, like I'm not gonna lie, if you're at 19 and he's there, you kind of have to take him, man, because at the end of the day, like the weakness of this farm system is the pitching.
Yeah,
and again, we have like guys like Bragg. I think they have some guys developing, but at the end of the day, like they don't have that guy that I'm like, yeah, he's it. He's the guy. The kid on the Brewers who just come up. He's been, oh my gosh, the dude's been.
Yeah. It's like 8, 9 innings, or I think it was 8 innings before his first hit was allowed.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, and the Orioles don't have that guy.
Yeah.
And Bragg is probably the best pitcher we have in the first. I mean, he's great, but again, can he develop into that guy? Absolutely. I'm not saying he can't.
Sure.
But if you can get the kid out of Oklahoma is good too. He's very, very good. But if you can get a legit pitcher in this draft, I'm like, dude, you have to draft him. Because we have so many players on the offensive side of the ball in this farm system, even though some of them aren't the stars as we once had, but we still have so much talent. And I'm like, you have to draft a pitcher. You have to.
Yeah, you have to. I think that's where they're at. Is you don't have that guy in your system right now. Like you said, you really don't. You don't have the guy that you can look at and go, hey, that guy in 2 years is going to be, the guy. And you thought you had that with Grayson a few years ago, and obviously on the field it's worked out. It's whether or not he's on the field that eventually is the issue.
The thing is with Grayson is he has it. It's just he can't stay healthy. And so and the thing is also Elias, he didn't draft, he didn't draft Grayson.
Yeah.
So I'm all for drafting offensive players, but if you're going to trade guys or sign guys, they got Bradish and they traded guys to get guys. But again, we traded for Burns, great. He's here for a year. Of course, he sucks. He's hurt now, but again, he was great. But at the end of the day, if you're going to have a farm system mostly of players on the offensive side, and the good thing is you either have to sign guys to free agency or use assets, trade for guys. And isn't. He didn't either. To like, I'm talking about like top end guys.
Yeah, and that's the difference. There's a difference between top end and just guys that you can throw out there.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, the Orioles have. I mean, they had Burns, but that's
Yeah.
not a guy that you had to give up assets for. Like that, you need to give up guys and give up talent to get talent, especially that high level talent. So
Yeah.
I hope they're able to. I genuinely do. Having a frontline pitcher can just change a team so much, and hopefully heading into next year, or into this draft with 3 picks, you can set yourself up.
Well, just think next year the Yankees they'll have Cole, Fried, and Gill,
Mhm.
and also Carlos Rodon.
Yeah,
That's a massive 4.
yeah.
You know,
You have to compete.
Yeah, they'll have Grayson. They'll have Grayson, Kyle, Dean, Cade, and I don't know who else.
Yeah. So it's going to be,
Yeah.
but there is no one else on the roster at the moment.
Yeah,
You know?
so like, and the thing is, like this, especially class of free agency, they have the actual market for pitchers is deep. I mean, like you have some guys that you can sign and bring in that can truly help. And again, like I'm more for just signing guys because all you have to do is just money.
Yeah, it's a little bit more, but
A little bit
you have
more.
to be in on them.
Oh yeah,
You know,
get on them. But and again, like King will be available. Cease will be available.
Framber Valdez is going to be available.
Gallen. I know like Cease and Gallen aren't having the best of years, but they still are.
I would take him in a heartbeat. I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Right now, I understand like Dylan Cease is having his struggles, but bro, like I would take him right now.
Yeah,
And
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see over the draft, over the trade deadline, and then obviously heading into the winter, what they're able to do and kind of where they find themselves. But Danny, hopefully we're talking under better terms next
Hopefully.
time.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Hopefully,
but appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you, Danny.
You be good.
Awesome. Yeah, my computer's about to die. I need to get my charger. I wanted to stay on for the call, but hold on, let me get my charger.
You go get that. Okay. Let's move on. We got Arkansas Joe up next. Joe, what's going on?
Damn, man, people really in getting their money's worth out of that $2.99 today.
Yeah. A lot of people frustrated. Lots of people frustrated with this one, Joe. But what's on your mind?
Coastal shit the bed, and that's disappointing. But we move on. Aloy won the Golden Spikes Award. That's 3 in the last 10 years for the University of Arkansas. That's a pretty good accomplishment. The coaching staff surprised them there in Omaha, and LSU actually came out and shook his hand, gave him hugs, very classy. You got to respect that. I still hate Loser State University, but that's okay. They got us this year. It's all right. We move on. I was expecting Dean to have a fantastic game today. I was expecting him to go balls to the wall and even have a complete game. I don't know.
It feels like Dean's always been that guy,
Seems like he may have been happy this morning for getting out. He had a good day, good evening.
So it's one of those things where Dean's always been that guy that they've been hopeful, he steps up. And what's frustrating is this is the game that Dean should have. They should have gotten that, win for Dean. And for him to pitch 5 2/3 and not get the win, that's frustrating.
Okay. So I'm reading this comment. All right, Brooks, I see it's the 4th inning, but 5-1 does not vote very well against
especially after the
with their staff getting tossed. I'm not watching it because it gives me PTSD, but that doesn't vote well. I'm rooting for Coastal very hard.
Joe, so am I. I'm very hard.
And the Fun Belt, get Jason a kidney, the whole 9 yards. And as far as the other person in this comment section, we're just going to leave that alone because Joe's trying to be professional.
Appreciate it, Joe. But we got hey, you know what?
And,
He's still got the hardware. He's still got
he does.
golden spike.
And the last last thing I'll say, and I got to get rolling. But when you say you're streaming in the Discord, you mean the box score from the MLB
Yes.
website,
Yes.
right? That's what you mean, right?
Yep. Good thinking, Joe. Good thinking. Appreciate you as always, Joe. Hopefully Coastal can put something together and make this a little interesting.
The 49ers are going 0-17 this year, you dumbass, so go suck it.
All right. That's late. Let's go. We got B Ravens up next.
What a disappointment, man. Oh, for sure. Man. Dean's best game of the year, and we do that. And I'm not going to fault Baker too much because I do think Sanchez did not call a very good eighth inning there. Because, dude, the thing with Chisholm, he's not good when it comes to curveballs, and he's not good when it comes to change-ups. And what does Sanchez call? Fastball, fastball, fastball. It's like Sanchez is allergic to the changeup, and the changeup is Baker's best pitch. And he just, what was it, like seven pitches, 4 whiffs on the changeup, and then nothing after.
That whole, and then it
Disaster.
felt like that 8th inning. It felt like, unfortunately, it gave me the exact same feeling as I did watching that 8-0 game, where it was just like you had an idea of what was happening. Like you knew. I was watching it and I was like, they got to get, like, I literally, when Chisholm got up, I was like, if this isn't a double play, I don't like this game is, this is going to be like, it was almost, I was like, even if he got just a walk, like bases loaded, I was like, DJ LeMahieu, of all people, I was like, DJ LeMahieu's going to be the one to hit the grand slam. I was like, so it feel like Jazz Chisholm, I know he hits the double. Also, I do have to say, if I'm DJ LeMahieu and I hit that double to take the lead, he didn't get the RBI on Jazz Chisholm scoring because the umpire didn't realize Gary missed the ball and ruled him out first. And because he then had to go and reverse his call, it's a fielder's choice error on Sanchez, and he doesn't get the RBI. I would be so mad.
Well, I mean, Sanchez did drop it, so if he feels that cleanly, it's probably out. But
it's close. Yeah, it's a lot. I thought it was, but
I thought he was out, and then I saw the ball drop, and then I was like, he's safe. But shout out to Dominguez. I thought Dominguez had a really nice game. 4-pitch walk. Here comes Judge. And he sends the fastball down the middle when Judge was expecting the splitter. That was gutsy.
I don't know how that ball was not put 500 feet out of the
That was gutsy.
I would love to call it gutsy. I think, unfortunately, that was a hanger that was not supposed to be there. That it even like Aaron Judge swung underneath it because I think even he was so shocked that the ball was being left just on a platter form. A hanging, oh my goodness. When I dropped to a knee.
Judge is probably looking for like a curveball or a splitter there. So he was not expecting it to stay up there.
I was just like when he caught that and it was finally just over, like it was the strike 3. I fell to a knee because I was like, how is this ball still in the stadium? Like, not even how is it still in the field of play? I'm like, how did he not exit Yankee Stadium with that pitch? He hung it for, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's gutsy, good luck, or just
I think
bad decision by Judge.
Buck Showalter said it the best afterwards. He's like, no, because they were like, do you think he was trying to backdoor him, or do you think that was just a mistake? And Buck Showalter was like, Nobody has ever thrown the pitch like that on purpose. It was it's like you just walk away like, holy crap. Like it literally, and even say he's like, Aaron Judge kept thinking this has to be breaking more. Like there's no way he's just leaving it up here. And it just no movement, nothing. Just BP breaking ball over the heart of the plate, and Judge swings through it. They end up losing anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if had they won, we're all
fastball over the middle of the plate, and I think Judge is looking like, because he was swinging low, so he was probably looking for like the splitter or a curveball there. So yeah, I was shocked about that. So I was like, hey, got out Judge. I'm probably the craziest call of the year. But then right after that, Baker's inning, where Baker didn't even have to pitch to Judge. It was everybody else.
Seriously.
It's just like, out of everything that went wrong this series, the one thing they did right was Judge.
Yeah.
The one thing.
Just unbelievable.
It just that, but that's the thing. It's like that's the one guy you can't let beat you, and they didn't, and they still lost. It's one thing, and I'll be honest. Had the Orioles lost today, the exact same score, because it would have been 4-2. But the 3 runs came on Aaron Judge hitting a 3-run homer off Sir Anthony. I'm sitting here going, well, what did you expect? Like he was going to get his. You can't leave him in that position. Then we're having a different conversation. Anybody but Judge, you can't let Aaron Judge beat you, and they let someone else do it. You know, they got beat.
That's a surprise to walk the leadoff in 4 there to bring up Judge.
Just craziness.
Walk the leadoff in 4 just to bring Judge up and struck him out. What is that?
No, yeah, wild game.
Yeah,
wild game.
Yep. Well, yeah, and Baker just lost in the middle of the order. Which as I said before, not great game by Sanchez. It's just like one of those games where it's just like, looking back on it, hindsight 2020, I knew back in March and April going into this year that we should have tendered McCann.
It was an obvious move, but
the two guys that I wanted to tender, they didn't. McCann, Coulomb. And both of those tenders have come back to haunt them.
Yeah, I mean, I would just defensively. I really don't think that Gary Sanchez offers much more offensive upside, to be honest, than James McCann. And I think the defense is so different. I think it's just astronomically different. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't.
McCann is much better defense with maybe a slightly worse bat, but then again, Sanchez is more power while McCann's more contact. So,
it sucks, but it is what it is. We got to hope. Hey, who knows? Maybe James McCann is back. But B Ravens, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Hopefully, we're talking after a win tomorrow. I'm begging, but appreciate you as always, my man.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to the game Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
So,
let's go.
Awesome.
So it's the.
Hopefully, you bring him some luck. Hopefully, on DeGrom day.
I mean, it's a DeGrom game, but yeah.
Awesome.
Hopefully, you bring some luck there, man. Yep. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Appreciate you, Ravens.
Right.
What a disgusting, gross loss, Kevin.
Yeah, not great.
I mean, it's just so disappointing to sit here game after game after these losses and talk about how disappointed we are, because it's like, yeah, why wouldn't we be? No, he's like, what else did we expect from this team right now?
Yeah, you beat Free and then you lose the 2 other games. Just classic Orioles baseball.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else?
I am good, man. I am all good.
Yeah. Orioles will be back tomorrow after losing Game 3 against the Yankees. Texas Rangers in town, back at the Yard. We'll have a 6:35 start time tomorrow. Patrick Corbin versus Trevor Rogers, the matchup you've all been waiting for. We'll be live again after the game. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way out if you haven't already. And we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Kevin and Zach React. Why am I blanking on Paredes' first name? I want to say
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah, I kept wanting to say Isaac because he's in what? Where's he at
He's
now?
in Chicago. No,
Houston, because he went to Chicago then.
Yep.
Jimmy Paredes, I love it. Thanks for the assist there.
Yeah, got you. BJ Surhoff.